This is Saad Malik, username 19LionKing74. And right now what I'm going to do is read an email that I sent to the mother of my children, just to let y'all know what I'm working with over here. I'm contacting you via email because your immaturity wouldn't allow you to hear my message last night. It appears that you've given the Watoto the green light to get in touch with me again. They need stability and consistency as far as their interaction with me. I want to give them this. Relying on your moods and how you feel about me on any given moment to determine whether I see them is something I won't do. If I am to be involved with them, you'll need to go to court and tell the judge you want me to have regular scheduled visitation and partial legal custody. These are reasonable terms that no woman who wants her Watoto to have a balanced life would disagree with. And you know it. The longer you keep them away from me, the older they get, the more they miss out on the childhood you said you wanted them to have. You remember, the one you didn't have, the one that included a father. Or have you forgotten? I think you have. In the whirlwind of your emotions, you've lost track of what this was supposed to be about. It was supposed to be about the Watoto, but somehow you've made it about you. You'll probably never be adult enough to admit this, but you've been jealous of the relationship that me and the boys have tried to have. Nothing else explains your destructive behavior. My presence in their life shines light on your absence from it. Instead of assisting me, you've tried to take my place. What they need, you can't buy. You can't imitate, and you can't duplicate. Try as you may, but you ain't got it. What they need is my masculine essence. They are surrounded by women all day, every day. What type of men do you think they'll grow up to be? How are you women preparing them to be men? Even your best efforts will still be from a female perspective, except that there is nothing you can give them except me. You are emotionally torturing them with this on again, off again, now you can see your father, now you can't roller coaster. Do as I've suggested and get it in writing that I am to have regular visitation and partial legal custody. If not, I will have no further contact with them. I've made peace with the Most High about this. He knows I love them. He knows my heart, and he knows that it beats for them. So just a little bit of a backstory. In 2009, I took this female to court just for the basics, just for visitation. And I was actually granted a temporary visitation order stating that I was to pick up my two sons from their elementary school every Friday at 3:00 and then return them home where they live at their mother's house. And for the first couple of weeks, this worked out pretty good. You know, I went, picked them up, we hung out, did little, father and son shit. It wasn't nothing extravagant or extraordinary. It was just them being around me that made a big difference, I believe, of course, in their lives. Just them hanging out, seeing how I do things on an ordinary daily basis is something that cannot, as the email stated, cannot be imitated or duplicated by a female. So First couple of weeks was cool. And then on the third week that I go to pick them up, everything's normal, but with one difference. A female friend of mine, who the mother of the children had knew of, this was a love interest of mine at one point. She asked me to come to her house, or her apartment rather, and fix a toilet seat that was broken. Now this woman, she's the friend of mine, she's about 10 years older than I am, very well spoken, very polite, always showed me the utmost of respect. I really had a lot of love for this woman. She was there for me in, my darkest hours. So hell yeah, I was going over there to fix her toilet, no problem. At the time when I did this, her and I hadn't been sexually involved for like 2 years, so it was whatever, it wasn't on no sex thing. So consequently though, I did have a key to her apartment, had a key to her spot, although again, wow, that motherfucker vibrated the shit out of that. But anyways, I had a key to her spot, although her and I weren't sexually involved, and I had the boys with me again, so I wanted them to see me doing some shit, some Mr. Fix-It type shit, so I took them with me. So get over there, I fixed the toilet seat, in and out, boom, bam, 15 minutes, we're out of there. Now, the next week, when I go to pick up my children from school, my watoto, Swahili for children. Next week when I go to pick them up, they're not there. I'm like, well, what the fuck? I go to their class, they're not there. Then I go to the office and talk to one of the secretaries there, and she tells me that their mother came to pick them up. So she didn't give me no call, didn't give me no heads up. She knew I was coming down there to pick the boys up, so she, intercepted them like that. From what I gathered, because the children must have told her. The children told her that, we went over this female's house who wasn't even there. So I'm like, God damn. So I calls her up. Long story short, I go to the school principal and talk to this guy about my situation, which I did reluctantly, but I felt like I had to do it because I'm looking at this point for allies, so I go to this guy and he tells me that during the divorce proceedings with him and his wife, she pulled some of the same shit, she pulled some of this, you're not seeing the children and all this old bullshit. So in his case, what he did was every time the wife violated the court order, he went down to the police station and filled out a report stating the violation. So that's what I did, I'm not no cop calling type of dude, and just even the idea of me taking this woman to court in the first place was something that that went against everything that I believed, almost everything that I believed in, and I say almost because I definitely believe in the fact that men should be fathers to their children. So it pained me greatly to have to rely on this racist ass system just to be a father to my children, knowing good and goddamn well that they don't want me to be a father any goddamn way. So I'm going to Frank James about something Jesse James did. Goddamn well, Frank is not gonna listen to me. He's gonna take the side of Jesse every time. So this female violated the court order 11 weeks in a row. Now during this time, her and I were going through mediation. So I figured now, I've got it documented that she violated this order 11 straight weeks. I figured like, damn, I've got her ass now. She's mine, and the case is won, and finally these folks will see that this individual is unfit and selfish in all ways and manners, and really don't have the best interest of her children at heart at all. And when we get into the mediation, I lay it out on the table, 11 documents stating that this woman violated this court order. And the mediator looked at me like, the fuck you want me to do with this, man? I don't have anything to do with this. What do you want me to do? I said, well, I want you to punish this young lady as per the law. What was the purpose of putting a court order into effect if she's not going to follow it or abide by it? And the mediator, again, she says to me, well, since this is the children's primary care provider, I can't put her in jail, or I can't punish her the way you'd like me to. And it made sense. It definitely did. At the time, my living situation wasn't stable, but still, those boys could have went with their grandmother, something to let this woman know that there will be negative consequences when she violates a court order. But when I realized that they weren't going to punish her for anything, and that basically she had carte blanche to do whatever the fuck she wanted to do, and that court order wasn't worth the paper that it was printed upon, after, let me see, that was April of 2010. I started the court proceedings July of 2009. So what is that, 9 months? After 9 months of going in and out of those courthouses, being ordered to go to parenting classes, after 9 months of all of this rigmarole, I said, you know what, fuck it. If this female is going to fight with me tooth and nail because I want to have visitation with my flesh and blood, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I going to put myself through this when at the end of the day, if this female doesn't want me to see my own children, I'm not going to see them? Talk about a feeling of powerlessness. No man, no black man wants to be seen as powerless, let alone feel that helpless emotion. So right now, to this day, I'm going through not seeing my children again because of the fact that they're being used as bait, or actually they're being held hostage. They're being held hostage by their quote unquote mother. I mean, the children are actually exhibiting signs of parental alienation. They're being they have been very disrespectful towards me verbally. I checked one of my youngest son who just turned 11. I checked his Facebook page, and there was a picture of him during one of our father and son times at the athletic club that I go to. I took them down there to let them see what it was like to play some real basketball on a real basketball court, but he took a picture there and posted it on Facebook, and his auntie asked him, in the comment section, where are you at school? And my son, the youngest one, says, no, I'm at some workout spot with the dreadlock nigga, with the dreadlock nigga. So I guess he was referring to me, which was quite shocking. I felt like, goddamn, this guy's completely disrespectful, and he never talked to me like that in person, but just the way he worded it, the dreadlock nigga, that sounded like words that were put into his mouth, words that he overheard somewhere. And then as I checked down to see his aunt's comment or response to that comment, you would definitely think that if this female was about the business of being a part of the village that rose or brought up a child, that she would check him on that. Like, hey man, the dreadlock nigga, who is that? Who are you referring to? It can't be your father, because you don't talk about your father like that. You would think that a responsible adult would say something to that reference. But of course that wasn't the case. Of course that wasn't the case, which again led me to believe that this is their description of me when I'm not around. Their meaning the women, the quote unquote women who are hovering over my children right now at this point. Anyways, though, that's just a quick check-in. This is my first video on YouTube. Alushua continua, the struggle continues. This is definitely for me, and for, sadly, thousands, if not millions of other black men across this United Snakes of America. This is a definite continuing struggle for manhood and for fatherhood, definitely. But that is all for now.